Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we are back at it again with another raid video. This time we have something very special. We've been saving, boys. We're one number off 69, but we have 68 void shards. We have a big event going on for 2x champs at epic legendary and a targeted champion, which this guy is actually insane at PvP. We're going to take a look at him in a second, but we're doing this because of the fragment event on our boy the monk. We are 70 out of 100, so we're actually doing quite well on this and should have him in just a bit. There's something interesting as well with the champion chase. First place is actually going to get a 5-star perfect soul on this. This guy has 8,500 points currently, and the event has about a day left, so we're gonna see how far we can get on that. And ideally, maybe with 78, if we roll a good legendary or two, we'll be able to juice up there. On top of that, we actually placed quite highly in the Sand Devil tournament. So we also have a, oh god, I was gonna open the prism crystal, but I guess the event ended and it pulled for me. Is this? Oh, we got Deacon Armstrong. He's pretty good. We actually didn't have Deacon, so I was hoping I would open that, but if you don't open it in time, it opens it for you. We actually got Deacon, which is a really solid epic. We have attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance at placing a leech. We have his attacks all enemy, 80% chance of placing 60% defense debuff for 2 turns. We have the fills turn meters of all allies by 15% and decrease the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. And then when you ascend him, fills the turn meters of all allies by 15%, and then the turn meters of all enemies by 15, and then grants him an extra turn, which is pretty good. So he uses this and then immediately attacks, and he is a speed leader by 19% in all battles. We like all battles, so you can use them in Grim Forest, you can use them in PvP, you can use them in dungeons. Ideally, for PvP, you'll have a PvP lead, which will give you, I think it's like, what, 28 or 29? We actually got 250 points for him. That counts towards the champion chase, which is pretty good. But yeah, we have the speed lead on our web designer, and this one is 28%, but it's only in arena, right? Targeted leaders, you get that extra bonus, but they're like not, you can't, you know, they're not as good everywhere. And before we get into the rest of the video, if you're looking to maybe start a free-to-play journey on Raid, which is quite fun, I was surprised that when we made our free-to-play account, how exciting it was. Or if you started playing Raid and you didn't use a creator code, I highly advise you give a Raid a download using my creator code there, or you'll find it in the pinned comment and description. Give it a download. That's going to give you a fantastic legendary right off the start. Grand Oak, he's a wonderful support champion that's going to definitely take you into the late game. Alongside that, you're going to find yourself 3 epic champions, one at level 10, 20, and 30. These are going to go alongside Grand Oak and give you a very well-rounded team to tackle a lot of the content and raid right off the bat. Even on top of that, wait, there is more. You're going to get yourself another legendary using one of the promo codes above here. I highly recommend with the creator code that I have now, go with Tholen, which his code should be Demon Slayer. And if you don't like Tholen, you can go with Pelops, which will be Raid 7 or Super Victory. Or if you don't like Pelops or Tholen after you've done your research, try Sung Wukong. He is fantastic in PvP as well. You'll see that guy everywhere. So yeah, how could you afford to not use a creator code like this? Again, very good. So with that, let's get in the rest of the video. But yeah, champion chase, we're already 388 points in pogs. But yeah, let's go ahead and start ripping these voids. We'll take a look at the 10x chance from void shards. This guy not only looks insane, his abilities look cracked for PvP. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me pull up his Hell Hades here, because he looks like an absolute animal for PvP. Yeah, I see basically 5-star in most dungeons, 4 and 5-star in Grim Forest, 4 or 5-star in core areas, and then the arena role is also 5 stars. So looking like an absolute maniac. What do we have? His A1 is attack all enemies 2 times, 25% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn based on HP. We have attacks all enemies 2 times before attacking, place 15% shatter buff on this champion for 2 turns, will ignore shield, strengthen, and increase defense buffs. Each hit increases the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns. His A3 places a taunt buff and a poison cloud buff on this champion for 3 turns. Also places a protect shield buff equal to 30% of this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. Then he gets an extra turn. And then once you've ascended him, his passive is at the start of each round, places a poison cloud buff on this champion, decreases the damage this champion receives from critical hits by 50%, with everybody having 100% crit generally only in PvP. That's minus 50% of the damage he's taking. And then whenever an enemy hits this champion, increase this champion's max HP by 5%. Weak hits increase this champion's max HP by 10%, and it stacks up to 100%. And then all of his attacks are based on HP. So actually just insane. If we can hit this guy with the voids, I will be so good. Also with the mercy system, I have never opened up, I don't think, a legendary void. So we're getting to the point where it's after 200 summons without a legendary, we get 5% per shard, which is a lot of voids, but considering we've never opened a legendary, this is like some pretty good stuff. So let's get cracking on these. I know I'm gonna have to make space in my tavern, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. I know it's Maneater. Every single epic from any shard, Maneater. So we have Rowan slash attacks on enemies, 60% chance of placing a heal reduction buff, and then a ascended attacks on enemy, 60% chance of placing 100% heal reduction buff. So obviously when you ascend her, the heal reduction is huge. Attacks 3 times at random, each 40% chance of placing a stun. We have attacks 1 enemy 4 times. Okay, Fire Knight. Each hit 75% chance of placing a poison. So just pretty standard champion, nothing too crazy there, I don't think. We're gonna open up some singles, and then once we get into once in a bit, we'll start cracking 10 at a time. We got our boy Dilalagagago. We're gonna hit 60, and then we're gonna go down to 50. We'll open a little tenor right there, a little tenor right there. All right, we got some Fellhound action. All right, all right, all right. We got our boy Cage Bound. Okay. I'm feeling this 2x. It's gonna come in real hot, boys. This 2x is gonna come in real hot soon. I'm feeling it. All right, Harrier. Nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and summon a tenor. Let's rip open. Let's get a couple epics and a legendary. Come on, baby. Rare, 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 rare. Epic. Okay. Okay. Not as okay as I thought it would be. 800 points though for 1 epic. We got our boy Snarlack. His leg rack attack. Attacks 1 enemy, 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff. Okay. He's got Tailfin Slipper Sauce. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each enemy. Okay. Removes all debuffs from allies, then places a block debuffs and a shield buff on all allies. The shield buff is equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. Okay, that's really, really good. Having a remove debuffs and then a block debuffs is a very powerful tool. Places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever their HP drops below 30%. And then his leader ability is increases all ally res by 40. So actually not that bad. I'm curious to see where he lands. This is like a worse version of like the legendary Toad that Tony got, which I'm very jealous of his Toad because it reminds me of Naruto and it looks really nice. And then like I said, we're gonna, oh, do I have enough space? I do not. Tony's favorite part of the video is when I have to go in here and move all of the people to the vault. All right, let's crack another 10, shall we? Now that we've made room, Tony's favorite thing to edit. Come on, baby. Rare. I'm feeling we gotta hit the legendary, dude. We have to hit him. He's like gonna be so cool. I'm gonna have a blast with him in PvP. There's an epic, not Maneater. Waiting for that Maneater. One day we'll have that Maneater, boys. So we have Ouroboros. We have the attacks 1 enemy, 40% chance of placing a decreased defense. Will attack all enemies instead of the targets under 4 or more debuffs. So pretty bad. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has 75% chance of bringing all debuffs from this champion to the target. The first hit 75% of stealing all buffs from the target when attacking under a veil or perfect veil. That's pretty good. Places a increased crit rate buff and a crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. The thing about the increasing like the crit is generally their crit, if they're good, is already at 100, so increasing it doesn't really do anything, and then not having it at 100 if they happen to ever lose buffs or this isn't up is also just bad. So it's just like a waste of an ability. Places a revive on death buff on this champion for 3 turns whenever they receive a veil or perfect veil. Revive on death is pretty solid. I know that's a few ways to take out that is a way that a lot of people do take out some bosses. The revive on death, I know, like Sand Devil at some points is pretty good. All right, dude, they're trolling me with these epics on voids right now. Maneater, you bitch. 2 toffs. That's not... Oh, that's so many epics. All right, we got a Toph and a Towering Titan. Attacks one enemy 2 times. It heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. It cannot be a critical. Okay, cool. Attacks one enemy when not attacking bosses. Inflicts pure damage and decreases the target's HP to 50%. Wait, what? Attacks one enemy when not attacking bosses. Okay. Inflicts pure damage and decreases the target's HP to 50%. And inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP instead, and places a stun debuff for 1 turn if the target is already less than 50%. Inflicts damage based on this champion's max HP when attacking bosses. This attack cannot be a critical. And then decreases the value of all enemy shield buffs by 50% at the start of every turn. Then increases the champion's max HP by the same amount, up to 25% of their max HP. Holy shit. Yo, is this guy actually good? Like, he's very simple, but like, is he just like a hard, like he fucking slaps, bro. He's got the meat sticks, bro. This guy, like, maybe he's an orc too, so he can go in an orc team. Oh shit, I actually have that. It was the headliner for orcs that gives big buffs. Towering Titan. All right, what do we got? This guy attacks one enemy, 40% chance of placing decreased defense. Attacks 4 times at random. The first hit, 100% chance of placing a provoke. Each other hit has a 50% provoke. Places an increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Places a shield buff on this champion equal to their max HP for 3 turns. And then this is a 60% increase. And then a continuous heal with a shield that's pretty standard. And then his passive is will transfer 50% of the damage inflicted on Cage Breaker to this champion during battle. So, you know, obviously works well with him. Only available with Cage Breakers on the same team. If multiple Cage Breakers on the same, this champion will only transfer the damage from one of them. Okay. Well, I don't know who Cage Breaker is, but overall, this looks like your standard, just like tank guy. Nothing seemed too crazy. And then the Thorn guy was like a fragment not too long ago for somebody. I forgot who, but his kit's kind of interesting. Attacks one enemy 2 times each hit, 25% chance of leech. Oh, you have attacks all enemies 2 times. First hit is a 75% chance of fear, and then second hit is a decreased accuracy for 2 turns. We have a places increased defense buff for all allies, and then also places a counter attack buff and a 50% res buff on this champion for 2 turns. And then before this champion uses a skill to deal damage, heal this champion. The value of the heal is proportional to this character's defense. So very interesting, like self-sustaining tank. I don't know like how good he is. I don't think he's good at all, but it's like a very interesting kit. Maybe this is actually something you could go for, but again, just it being an epic is whatever. Also, I'm just gonna look at the percentages on epics. We have Void, and epic is 16%, and a legendary is only 8%. So theoretically, percents are low, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling them. Chat, we have to feel it. I'm not feeling a bellower. We're gonna crack some singles. Respectfully. 68 singles. Couldn't be 69 though. Maybe that was the problem. We didn't start with 69 not bellower, fucking man-eater guy. Genbo the Dishonored. About to get your ass out of here. Attacks on enemy 2 times. Each hit it steals any increased attack buffs. Also, each hit is stealing 1 random buff, and then the increased buff still cannot be resisted. Attacks all enemies, 80% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. Places a increased crit rate. I already know with an ability like this, he sucks. And then he grants him an extra turn. On this champion, not even all champions. Immune to decreased attack debuffs, will ignore unkillable buffs when attacking under increased attack. And then he is a speed lead. So yeah, he's a guy who does things with the blade. All right, come on, baby. Let it be hot. Let it be now. Legendary, come out. I'm looking for the hot magma man. Hot magma men in your area, or a man-eater. A man-eater would also give me an unkillable team for Demon Lord, which would be insane. Because I'm still hunting for my unkillable. Yo, there's no way it's gonna. We have to get a legendary. Like, I know one is in here. I know it's in here, boys. All right, we're down to 20, and then we're going to open 10, and then we're going to crack singles from 10 to 0. All right, here we are. Here it is, boys. Summoning 10. Come on, baby. Come on. It's going to be big. Rare. No. Yes! That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby! That is what I am fucking talking about, baby! Holy shit! I fucking told you. I told you there were doubters. There were doubters in this bitch. Yo, duders, what do you have to say about this, buddy? This is truly. Watch him like not like be good on my account. I'm just kidding. I don't give a fuck, dog. This is insane. Duders, we hit big, bud. We hit big. Did I wake you up from your nap, buddy? Oh, I woke you up from your nap. What a sad boy. Dude, I cannot believe. Well, I can believe. Holy shit, gents. Now that is what I am talking about right there, baby. That is some inspirational shit right here, boys. Oh my god. We got Alfera the Life Braid. Solid. Very solid. Definitely would visit in the forest. Attacks one enemy. Restores destroyed max HP of this champion or the ally with the most destroyed HP by 25% of the destroyed HP. Attacks one enemy before attacking, places an increased accuracy buff, 75% chance of placing a sleep, places a block debuff on all allies for 2 turns, then heals all allies by 30% of their max HP. So that's pretty good, with her passive being 12% chance of activating an instant turn effect on this champion or ally after using any active skill. If there are multiple champions on the same team with the skill, only one will activate. The skill is not activate on duplicate copies of this champion. Oh wow, 12% chance of activating instant turn effect on this champion or an ally after using any active skill. So every time a skill is used, this passive takes, and it's a 12% to just get another turn, which seems really good. Higher than 1 out of every 10 attacks, you're gonna get a free attack. That seems pretty nutty. Holy shit, I cannot believe we hit him, boys. What a sight. What a sight is that. Holy moly, boys. That is big. That's insane, boys. Holy shit. Where are we in the tournament as well? Where does that place us? We have all the rewards here. We are in 2nd place, pretty far from 1st, but I honestly, I'll open. I don't know if I should wait to open. Fuck it, we're gonna open. We're on a streak. Back to back, boys. Back to back legendaries. Let's hit it. I was gonna say maybe save, and then like before it ends, like the guy doesn't see that I'm that close to him, right? And then he like I pass him in the last little bit, but we could open up something else. I don't think it only needs to be voids, right? So I'll really take that. I'll take that Awaken 5. That seems pretty good considering we're gonna get him. We're very, very close to all the fragments needed. What a rush, boys! Holy shit! 68 was indeed the number. All right, we got 4 more. There could be a man-eater in this bitch. There might just be a man-eater on the last one, boys. There could be a man-eater on the last one here, guys. Or maybe another void legendary. Who's to say? Or there could be nothing, because we've used all of the RNG forever. We have 1 left. 1 is left, boys. Cracker wide open. Come on, baby. Hit big, hit big, hit big, you bitch. We still take it. We take it. We absolutely take it. Holy shit, gents. First time. Normally our shard openings are terrible, and we haven't hit something big in a while. So it feels good to hit big, boys. It feels so good to hit big. I am so excited to see what this guy is gonna do for us. Not only because he looks absolutely insane, because he's good at PvP, and I really do enjoy PvP. Now we gotta get a soul for him, and then we'll see what we can do. And let me check real quick that this event is for any shard. No, I think the champion chase, you just need to get champions. Yeah. You just need to get champions. So a legendary is 650 and an epic is 350. So if we're at 7,000, we're about, is that 2.5 legendaries away? We'll see where he goes. Let's look at the points. At 350 for epics. We're guaranteed epics out of these sacred shard, and it's 350 a pop. And we have 10. So theoretically, we have enough for 1st place. This is where the video would have ended, but it's not. We're actually going to combine 2 openings for voids because we wanted to go for 1st place on the monk to get the awakening. So enjoy some more opening, boys. But first things first, to progress and get on with the video for the juicers, I believe I just talked to Tony. The pack string for voids right now is pretty good. Give 7 300k and 300 for 25. I'm scared what this other offer is because it's get to previous, and this is 2 million in gold and 1,000 for 16. I feel like these are going to be quite pricey, but the last one's 11 500k and 500 for 15, which is pretty good. Again, I really want to, we've never gone for the 5-star before, and I feel like we're pretty close. Unlike Tony's, his bracket has a guy at 70,000 points. Like, what are we even talking about at 70,000 points? Like, what would bring somebody to like get that far ahead? You know what I mean? Like, that just seems like outrageous. So we had something I forgot, 40. So we have 12 times 3, which is, what is that, 36, and 1,600,000. That's also not too bad. I'm scared what this next one is. Please don't be over 50 at 16 x2. So yeah, it makes sense. And then we have the last one at 15, which is overall pretty good value here. Also, given the fact that we are most likely going to be able to get the awakening and hopefully get the rest of the rewards. So let's collect all of our booty. And what does that put us? That puts us at 47 more voids. That's a fuck ton of voids, bro. And that 2x2, we are absolutely juicing. And then we also, depending on where it puts us, we still have some sacreds to crack. I would like to be a decent way ahead because I'm gonna set an alarm tonight to make sure I wake up and don't lose this, because I know if I go to bed and I'm at like maybe like slightly above him, he's gonna still juice, because he went from like, I think the last video was like 8,000 or 9,000, and then he got like another 1,000 or 2. So I definitely want to make sure that I get the perfect soul. And I also know I'm gonna have to probably make room in my in my tavern, which is Tony's absolute favorite thing for to wait for. So we'll just go ahead and upgrade all of these and make as much room as we can. I suppose we'll just start with a crack at 10 and see if we like hit another legendary. And I totally forgot to, oh shit, epic, we love it. I forgot to add the sound, so we'll actually have no sound for this part, but then after this I'll remember to do it. I always forget to add the sound. We got, ooh, every time I see an epic, boys, I get so excited because it could be Maneater. Attacks one enemy 2 times. 70 or 25% chance of poison. We have removes all debuffs from allies and heals them. We have places 2 poison debuffs on enemies, also a continuous heal, and then a speed lead, so garbage. And then we have the Vine Guard, attacks 1 enemy 2 times, weakened, which is pretty good. We have attacks 1 enemy, ignore defense, and strengthen buff, as well as the target's defense. If this attack kills an enemy, increases the duration of all buffs on this champion by 1 turn. Attack buff, damage buff this champion, and then grants an extra turn, with their passive being increases this champion's attack by 10% for each enemy with 50% or less HP, stacks up to 50%. So overall, just pretty bad. Before we get too carried away, let's go ahead and do the sounds. We have to do the sounds. Do the sounds. Where am I going? We're not doing that yet. All right, we're going in. We're gonna crack 7, baby. I know generally we only do 1 of the shard. I don't think this deal was around. Maybe it was still there the other day when I looked at it. I'm pretty sure we looked at deals and there wasn't anything too crazy. And the only reason, like I said, we're doing this is because Maneater. Oh, we got Silas the Stripehide. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times, each hit, 15% chance of placing a stun debuff. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times, each hit will ignore shield, increase its strength and strength buffs. Each hit also heals the champion. Garbage. Attacks all enemies before attacking, increase crit rate. Dude, I've been over the crit rate thing. I seriously dislike ones that do buff on crit rate, because generally most things have 100% crit anyway. Maybe that's a bad take, but I'm just not a fan of it. Increases champions critical damage by 10% every time they kill an enemy, stacks up to 30%. And these stacks will not reset upon death. That's pretty good. And if this champion's blades of finality skills, this blades of finality, I'm just gonna call it blades of fin. Skill kills an enemy, the next skill they use will ignore 30% of the target's defense. So some ignore, I don't know. I've never literally seen a good lizardman. I know there is one. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there is a couple really good lizardmen. But in general, whenever I see a lizard boy, I generally am disappointed. Okay. I am feeling another legendary, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we cracked an insane legendary in the last video. We got the progressive chance guy, and holy moly, we're still leveling him up. We got him to 6 stars. I'll send him once it's clan versus clan. But yeah, we're in the process of leveling the bad boy up and seeing what he can do in PvP. And I am so very excited for that. I am so very excited. We're gonna do a 10 banger. Legendary on the top right. Here we go, boys. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-mm. Come on. All rares. 1 epic. Runekeep, Dazdirk. We already have this guy. He's not bad. He attacks 1 enemies, places a leech, increase attack buff for 2 turns, and then ally fill, removes all debuff, and then heals them, which is pretty good. And then his ascendants all remove all debuffs, heals them with his champion's max AT, and then continuous heal. And then he has ally attack. So not a terrible champion there. He's pretty solid. I think I'm gonna do some singles here. We gotta crack this. Oh, man-eater. One of these days, boys. And then it'll be a first shot. Light ward attacks 1 enemy, 25% chance of stealing 1 random buff from the target. If this attack is a critical, 100% chance of stealing 1 random buff instead, which 100% critical is a must. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of stealing 15% of the target's turn meter. If it's a critical hit, has a 75% of chance of stealing 30% of the target's turn meter. So not too shabby. Attacks all enemies, which we like. Before attacking, places an increased accuracy buff and increased crit rate for 2 turns. Increase the duration of all buffs on this champion by 1 turn if this attack is also a critical. And then we have her passive, which is increases champions attack by 2% for each buff they receive. Stacks up to 30%. Wow, an extra 30% attack does not particularly seem that bad, to be honest, because getting buffs is pretty easy for a man-eater. Ah! Towering Titan. We got this guy in the last opening. He's pretty standard tanky boy. Nothing too crazy. All right, some random dwarf action. One of these days, boys, one of these days, it's gonna hit hard and it's gonna hit fast. And then we also have the fragments from the other things, which I'll try to get to in this video, and then we'll get an extra, what is a legendary when you open them? It's like 650 points. So if we can get the monk man-eater. Dawn Caller. We have A1 of attacks 1 enemy, heals the ally with the lowest AT by 10%. Garbage. Places an increase 60% increased defense buff and increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. Not bad. Revives an ally with 25% HP and 100% turn meter. Okay, and also places a block damage buff on that ally. And then we have the passive. Whenever this champion revives an ally, decreases the cooldown of one of this champion's skills by 1 turn. So not terrible, not particularly great, but definitely not the worst champion I've ever seen. Nothing like all this food right now that we're ripping. Man-eater. Oh, new tournament position 1. I think that was the cracks. Attacks 1 enemy, 60% chance of placing a 50% heal reduction. Oh, okay. I think we've opened her before. She did heal reduction and then it scaled up, yeah, to a higher percent. Yeah, it's 100% to 50%. Yeah. And then yeah, we had mentioned, yeah, it was a fire. I think I mentioned Fire Knight with her, but yeah, we opened her before. All right, dude, if we can, I'll set an alarm tonight. If we can stay in first without cracking more, that'd be sick. I am gonna crack the rest just to get a substantial, I wouldn't say substantial, but some semblance of a juicy lead. So he knows if he wants to beat it, he's gonna have to do some swiping, and the only buddy that's gonna swipe harder is me, because I must be first. I really just, when I was pulling these, I did not expect to see some guy off of like Love is Blind. Not Love is Blind. What is it called? Too Hot to Handle. Like, what are we talking about here? Jesus. Did we like chat GPT this man's toes? What's going on? That was like a blur of pixels. Man-eater. God Seeker. Okay, maybe it's good. Attacks 1 enemy, heal the ally with the lowest HP by 5% of their max HP. Cannot heal this champion. Attacks all enemies, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP, then increases the duration of all buffs on all enemies by 1 turn, and then increases the duration of all buffs on all allies by 1 turn. Okay, that's actually pretty solid. Revives a dead ally with 50% HP, then fills their turn meter by 50%, and resets the cooldowns on all of their skills. Very solid. And then the passive is going to be increases the amount of healing allies receive by 10%, and then the active effect of his ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, preempts that hit, and instantly places a revive on death buff on them for 1 turn before the damage is taken. And at 7 turn cooldown, when she's booked, it goes actually down to 4 turns. That seems really good. This seems like a very, very supportive, pretty solid champion. I'm very impressed by that kit. Maybe she's not good, but I'm it seems like that would be pretty solid. Because I know the revive on death stuff, very useful in some of the boss fights. Because it'll reset like debuffs and stuff. Well, this was like in the same realm as a Maneater, just slightly different. We're gonna move over some homies. It should be fairly simple to crack open the legendary given. Oh, Maneater! Slugma the Prudidar. Bro, why is his helmet so small and his like gullet or like neck so big? Attacks 1 enemy, 30% chance of placing a decreased speed, 30% chance of placing stun. This is definitely going to be a provoke. It has like the little cow on it, or the moose or the bull. Attacks all enemies, 50% chance of provoke, debuff, and increase the defense buff on this champion. We have a place's strengthen buff and continuous heal for 2 turns. Oh, all allies for 2 turns. Sorry about that. 5 turn cooldown, with goes down by 1. And then we receives 20% less damage from enemies under provoke, and then 25% chance of counterattacking whenever an enemy under provoke debuff attacks either this champion or an ally, which is actually pretty good. This seems really, really nice. Could be good for Hydra. Not a bad champion, I don't think. All right, we got 2 shards. Hit big, hit fast. We got 1 shard left, and it's gonna be a legendary. Just rip it fast. Rip it so fast. Come on, baby. Epic or legendary? You dirty, dirty dog. You dirty, dirty, dirty dog. Where are we in Champion Chase? So we got the legendary book as well, and then we also have the giant eternal soul stone, which is pretty good. All right, so we're 12-5, which is good because they're at 11, so it's going to cost them quite a bit to catch up. We have another 8 hours on this, so 8, we're at 8. So what does that put us at? 8 hours ahead. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at 4 in the morning, which means I'm going to set my shit at 3:45 right now. Every day. 3:45. No, 3:50 a.m. every day. That's going to be great because I know I'm going to forget to turn it off. It's going to scare the shit out of me. Oh, 300 energy. That's actually just what I wanted. Watch me get like another void real quick. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Oh. Okay. Come on, void. Woo! That void right now, we already know what it is. Legendary. We just got it from the ticket. Here we go. Super Giga highlight. Never fucking mind. We're garbage. Back to the drawing board. Oh, another void from the counter. This has to be it too. This has to be the legendary. I was wrong the whole time. Juice me. Okay. Watch this. This is another void. This was the legendary the whole time. Damn. XP barrel. Not bad, but this one's the void. Seriously, though. Stop fucking around, game. Here it is. Boom. I'll take that, too. These actually not too bad. These tickets are kind of chill. All right, so now that we completed the champion training event and got the last fragments, thank you, editor, for speeding that up. Tony's the man. We have our fragment summon, which we will go ahead and summon our boy, the monk, which should theoretically also give us more points into the event, getting us further ahead to make sure we can get his awakened 5. So that's 500 more tournament points there, and this guy should on my account be pretty solid just because I am still kind of lacking on Chimera. I'm actually still lacking on Chimera and Hydra. So having the full team res, some buffs, the block buffs and stuff should be very, very nice. So seeing where this puts that, did this just say tournament number 2? I think it was number 2 for Dragon, right? Yeah, number 2 for Dragon, which is fine. I don't really care about that. It is the champion chase, which I need to be number 1. He hasn't moved, and we're at 13-1. So we're about, what is that, 2K ahead? And 2K is, it's a solid amount. That's quite a few. That's like 2 legendaries-ish, right? 3 legendaries and some epics and stuff. So we'll see how that holds throughout the morning. But yeah, getting 5 souls on him would definitely be fantastic for my account, given we are starting to enter. We're a little bit past, I would say, the beginner, still hanging around intermediate, but ideally entering late game sometime soon. Our champion pool itself is looking okay. Still not really where I want it to be, given that we haven't opened a single mythical to really build around, and we don't really have any insane like undying teams going on with like Maneater or things of that nature. But we are just a few champions away from really being able to progress this account into some pretty insane content. And then once we build up a lot of that stuff, we'll be able to really enter PvP with quite a few fun champions and see how we get into there. So yeah, with that, thank you guys for watching. Of course, we're making some great progress, and hopefully you guys are enjoying. I'll catch you in the next episode. Of course, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.